Amelia Earhart, the adventurous aviator. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas. As a young girl, Amelia liked to visit the airport and watch the planes take off from the runway. She vowed that one day she would learn how to fly. Amelia graduated from high school in 1916. She planned on attending college, but she had a change of heart. Instead, she became a nurse's aide at a military hospital. Amelia Earhart's interest in flying, however, never faded. By 1932, Amelia had earned her pilot's license. She was soon asked to be a passenger on a flight across the Atlantic Ocean. 21 hours after takeoff, she and the pilot landed safely in Europe. This made Amelia the first woman to ride in a plane across the Atlantic. Amelia Earhart was determined to do more, however. She wanted to show that it was ability, not gender, that mattered in aviation. Women must try to do things as men have tried, she once said. When they fail, their failure must be but a challenge to others. On May 20th, 1932, Amelia set out on her solo attempt to cross the Atlantic. The trip was difficult and dangerous. She flew through a lightning storm, and at one point almost crashed into the ocean. When her plane began to leak fuel, Amelia had to make an emergency landing in Northern Ireland. Despite these setbacks, she completed the trip. Amelia Earhart became the first woman to cross the Atlantic alone. She also set a new flight record, 13 hours and 30 minutes. When asked why she flew the Atlantic, Amelia answered, "I flew the Atlantic because I wanted to. To want in one's heart to do a thing, for its own sake, to enjoy doing it, to concentrate all one's energies upon it. That is not only the surest guarantee of success, it is also being true to oneself." In 1935, Amelia decided to fly around the world along the equator. This was something no one had ever tried before. She asked Fred Noonan to be her navigator. They finally set out in May of 1937. They had nearly completed the trip when they missed a scheduled stop at a tiny island in the Pacific. Ships and planes began a massive search. However, no trace of Amelia, Fred, or their plane was ever found. Though many stories have been told to explain their disappearance, what happened to Amelia and Fred remains a mystery today. Matthew Henson, Arctic explorer. In 1840, 14-year-old Matthew Henson loved to hear sailors tell tales of their exciting lives at sea. The travel, the adventure, the danger, and the steady pay were all appealing to young Henson. One day he made up his mind. Baltimore was the nearest large seaport. The next morning he set out on the 40-mile journey to seek work on a sailing ship. In Baltimore, Henson found a job as a cabin boy on a beautiful ship called the Katie Hines. For the next 5 years, Henson sailed around the world. With the help of the ship's captain and other members of the crew, Henson learned mathematics, navigation, history, geography, and many other subjects. By the time he left the Katie Hines in 1885, Henson was well educated and had become an excellent seaman. Unable to find work anywhere else, Henson took a job in a hat shop in Washington, D.C. One day, in 1887, a man came in to buy a hat. The man, Lieutenant Robert Perry, asked the owner if he knew anyone with experience at sea. Perry would soon travel to South America for the U.S. government. He needed experienced men to accompany him. The shop owner knew about his young employee's skills and experience on ocean voyages, so he introduced Perry to Henson. Perry and Henson liked each other instantly. They had a great deal in common, including their love for the sea. Using his map reading and sailing skills, Henson proved himself to be a worthy and intelligent seaman. Perry soon made Henson his assistant, and they became close friends. One day, Perry told Henson his real dream, to be the first man to stand on the top of the world at the North Pole. he asked Henson to help him make his dream come true. Over the next 5 years, the two explorers made 2 trips together to the Arctic. However, they were not able to reach the pole either time. The cold wind and ice were worse than either of them had ever imagined. On each trip, though, Henson learned something new about traveling in frozen polar regions. In 1908, Peary and Henson were ready to make their final attempt at reaching the North Pole. Both men were over 40 years old. The years of hardship and suffering in the Arctic cold had taken their toll on both men. This would be their last chance. With 4 Inuit guides, they made a mad dash straight across the ice towards the pole. Peary's feet were so frostbitten he had to be pulled on a dog sled. In April 1909, Henson's instruments showed they were standing at the North Pole. Together, Henson and Peary planted the American flag in the snow. In later years, Robert Peary and Henson were greatly honored for their accomplishment. Today, the 2 friends and fellow explorers lie in heroes' graves not far apart in the Arlington National Cemetery.